Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I will analyze the case of Nichole Rice. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the crime, then offer my analysis. Nichole Rice was born in September 1987 and lived in Minot, North Dakota. In 2007, she lived in a 700-square-foot two-bedroom apartment located on 4th Street Northwest. The apartment complex was called Northgate Apartments. Nichole made her living by working as a sales professional in a call center. She did not live alone in her apartment. Nichole had a roommate named Anita Knudsen. Anita had been adopted at the age of 5 by Gordon and Sharon Knudsen in Anaheim, California. When she was in high school, her family relocated to North Dakota. Anita had 2 jobs. She worked in a mall store and at a hotel. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. On Monday, June 4, 2007, at 5:12 p.m., the landlady for Anita Knudsen's apartment, Laura Knapp, contacted the police and reported that 18-year-old Anita was dead. Here is what the police found during the course of their investigation. Anita had missed work, and a friend of hers had grown concerned. The friend contacted Anita's father, Gordon Knudsen. He stopped by Anita's apartment and noticed that the front door was locked. He went to the landlady, Laura, and she used her key to unlock Anita's apartment. Gordon then found Anita dead in her bedroom and asked Laura to call the police. Anita's body was face down on her bed. She had sustained 2 stab wounds to her chest and bled to death. Anita was the only person in the apartment. In Anita's bedroom, the police found her cell phone, laptop, digital camera, and purse. Her purse contained cash. Nothing appeared to be missing from her bedroom, and nothing was disturbed. It did not look like any struggle had occurred. Anita had 1 window in her bedroom, which was located near the foot of her bed. The screen was missing, and the window was open. A pocket knife containing dried blood was found on the bed. The police believed this was the murder weapon. The landlady, Laura, was romantically involved with a man named Marty Annell, who was a maintenance worker for the Northgate Apartments. Laura and Marty lived in Laura's apartment in that same complex. Marty told the police that he had found the screen to Anita's window on the ground that morning and had taken it to his workshop. The screen was bent and had a large cut in it in the shape of a backwards L. Marty intended on repairing the screen. That's why he took it. The cut in the screen contained Anita's blood, but her blood was not found anywhere else on the screen. The police did not believe the killer used the window to enter or exit Anita's apartment. Rather, they used the front door. Cutting the screen was just done to throw off investigators. The way the lock on the front door was configured, the only way the door could be locked from the outside was with the key. This means the killer must have possessed a key. Only 4 people were known to have a key: Anita, Nichole, Laura, and Marty. Anita's cell phone was analyzed by the police. On Sunday, June 3, 2007, at 4:43 a.m., she received a text message from a male friend named Michael saying, quote, "Nice. I thought you were going to reply to last text," unquote. Anita responded to Michael at 4:48 a.m. saying, "I didn't know what to say to it." At 4:53 a.m., Michael sent the message, "You don't say anything." This text message was not read by Anita. She did not communicate with anyone after this. Based on this phone activity, the police believed that Anita was murdered on that day, June 3. Investigators contacted Nichole and told her there was an emergency at her apartment. According to her supervisor, he delivered this message to her, but Nichole refused to leave work, saying, quote, "That's just my crackhead roommate. I'm not dealing with it," unquote. When the police called back, they threatened to pick Nichole up at her place of work, which prompted her to make a trip to her apartment. When she arrived, officers claimed that Nichole had a flat, emotional response to Anita's death. Nichole explained to the police that when the murder occurred, she was visiting her family at a family farm in Velva, North Dakota, which is 21 miles away from Minot. Officers asked Nichole if anything was missing from the apartment. She claimed that her iPod was missing, but when she stated this, she had not yet entered her bedroom where the iPod was stored. Nichole appeared to be more concerned with the iPod than with Anita's death. The police investigated many potential suspects. All of them had alibis except for Nichole Rice. There was a 9-hour window starting on Saturday, June 2, 2007 at 11:30 p.m. where no one could account for Nichole's whereabouts. The police suspected that Nichole was Anita's killer, but there wasn't enough evidence to make an arrest. The case went cold. Years later, a television show called Cold Justice sent a crew to Minot, North Dakota to film an episode about Anita's murder. Supposedly, investigators working for the show helped crack the case wide open. On March 16, 2022, 15 years after Anita Knutson was stabbed to death, Nichole Rice was arrested and charged with felony murder. Her trial started on March 18, 2025. 8 days later, on March 26, Nichole Rice was found not guilty. Now moving to my analysis. Nichole Rice maintains her innocence, and she was found not guilty by a jury of her peers. Her defense argued that there was no credible evidence indicating that Nichole was involved in Anita's murder, and prosecutors should be ashamed of themselves for bringing this case to trial. The state, of course, disagrees. They recognize that their case had a few problems, but they thought there was enough evidence to get a conviction. This brings me to the question, was Nichole Rice guilty of murder? Let's take a look at the evidence both for and against the idea that she was guilty, starting with the inculpatory factors. Anita told people that she did not get along with Nichole. Text messages from Nichole to Anita indicated there was a lot of tension in this relationship. For instance, Nichole wrote, "I'm not going to live like this," and "what goes around comes around." The relationship was so poor, Anita had her father, Gordon, put a lock on her bedroom door. She wanted to keep Nichole away from her. Nichole claimed that her iPod was missing, but the killer did not steal any of Anita's property. Anita was not the victim of an assault of a sexual nature. What motive would a stranger have possessed to kill Anita without stealing or conducting an assault? The police believe that the killer did not use the window to enter or exit Anita's apartment. Some of her belongings were positioned near the bottom of her window, but they were not disturbed. Dust and cobwebs were not disturbed either, and Anita's blood was on the cut in the screen, but not anywhere else on the screen. This means that the screen was cut after Anita was stabbed. If the window wasn't used, the killer used the front door, which they must have locked with the key when they exited. Other than Anita, only Nichole, Laura, and Marty had a key to the apartment. Laura indicated that she was with Marty for that entire weekend. He did not have time to commit the murder. When Nichole was notified at work that there was an emergency at her apartment, she initially refused to go. Her supervisor said that Nichole seemed less social and more hurried on that day. Nichole said that her iPod was missing, but she made that statement before even entering her bedroom where the iPod had been stored. She also complained about her iPod to a friend named April. One of Nichole's coworkers, named Donna, said that Nichole complained that Anita turned off her fish tank and left an alarm clock on. Nichole indicated that the police suspected that she was the killer, but she would be fine as long as she kept her mouth shut. Having a bit of a Bruce Banner moment, she told Donna, quote, "You don't want to get me angry," unquote. And Nichole said, quote, "Why would I need to cut through the screen if I had a key?" unquote. This last statement seems particularly suspicious because Nichole did not have any way to know about the screen. Again, Marty took the screen to his workshop before Anita's body was discovered. Donna's account is partially corroborated by a text message that Nichole sent to Anita on April 21, 2007, where Nichole expressed frustration over an alarm clock. A woman named Christina indicated that Nichole confessed to the murder. Nichole said that she was fighting with Anita over an alarm clock, and she stabbed her. Also, Nichole indicated that Anita was wearing a bathrobe, but the police never mentioned anything about a bathrobe. That information was not made public. An ex-boyfriend of Nichole's named William claimed he overheard her at a party say that she killed Anita. Nichole was intoxicated at this time, according to William. Nichole had an aunt named Brenda who spent a few days with Nichole driving from New Mexico to North Dakota. Apparently, after the murder, Nichole moved to New Mexico, but then moved back to North Dakota. According to Brenda, Nichole said that she would never get the image of Anita's body out of her head. This looks bad for Nichole because she had no opportunity to see the body unless she was the killer. Nichole mentioned a bowl of water, which was found in the bathroom sink. The police removed that before Nichole was allowed to go back inside her apartment. Nichole allegedly referred to Anita as a blanking blank and a blanking blank. The first term rhymes with trucking witch, and the second term rhymes with trucking runt. Nichole was interviewed by the police on 4 occasions and offered 4 different versions of her story. On June 4, 2007, the day Anita's body was discovered, Nichole told the police that when she returned home from work on June 1, 2007, she heard Anita but did not see her. Nichole woke up on June 2 and left for the family farm. On June 11, 2007, Nichole told the police that she returned home, heard Anita talking to someone, woke up the next day, and left. On May 6, 2010, Nichole was interviewed for the 3rd time. She indicated that she saw Anita at the refrigerator on June 1, 2007, and at 1 a.m. on June 2, she heard Anita answer the front door. During the 4th and final interview, on March 12, 2022, Nichole Rice said that she did not remember if Anita was home. During the 4 interviews, Nichole was also inconsistent about what she did after arriving at the family farm. In one version, she stayed at the farm the entire time. In other versions, she left to go to various places. Nichole did not have an alibi during the time when Anita was murdered, and the police claim that all other potential suspects did have an alibi. Moving to the exculpatory factors, no physical evidence connected Nichole to the scene of the murder. No DNA, no blood, no hair, nothing at all. Nichole did not have any injuries on her body consistent with being in a homicidal struggle. Killing somebody with a knife is pretty difficult. Obviously, the victim gets injured, but the perpetrator often gets injured as well. DNA from a male was found under Anita's fingernail. The sample was too small to test. The maintenance man, Marty Annell, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound on New Year's Day 2009, about a year and a half after Anita's murder. He had access to her apartment in the form of a key and was in possession of the screen containing her blood when her body was discovered. The officers working on Anita's murder did a terrible job. Some of them admitted that they never actually read the entire case file. There is no way to know if all the alibis of other potential suspects were properly investigated. They may have been, or maybe not. Again, the police did not conduct a proper investigation. One potential suspect, a man named Devin Hall, had a history of breaking into homes. The defense argued that his alibi was not airtight, as the state claimed. The variation in Nichole's story could be explained by memory failure. The first and second interviews happened within a week of each other, but the third interview was 3 years after the murder. The fourth interview was 15 years after the murder. The filming of the TV show Cold Justice occurred right before Nichole was arrested. After watching the 2-part episode, it seems clear the police in Minot were mesmerized with the talent brought in by the show. Maybe their judgment was affected by the power of show business. A little Hollywood magic motivated them to solve the case. When considering all the evidence in this case, do I believe that Nichole Rice was guilty of murder? No. In my opinion, she was not guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The jury arrived at the correct verdict. That takes care of the legal standard, but what about in reality? Was Nichole responsible for Anita's death? I think what makes this case so challenging is the poor investigation conducted by the police. There's no way to trust anything that was presented. They really did seem incompetent, and the pressure from that TV show might have been a bit too much for them to bear. I don't know if Nichole did it or not, but if I had to guess, I would say that she was guilty in reality. Nichole knew about critical elements of the case which were not public. It's difficult to explain that knowledge if she was not the killer. As far as what happened to Anita, there is no way to know. Much like the endless plains of North Dakota, this case stretches beyond clear horizons. Innocent or guilty, Nichole was free to move on with her life. Perhaps she will start searching for the real killer, or at least continue the quest to find her iPod. Those are my thoughts on the case of Nichole Rice. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.